Yo guys, it's me Finley, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Now guys, I haven't done a reaction video in a while, so I thought why don't I do one today, and we are back with reacting to scary animations, so let's just hop straight into this and let's go. Right.
So in 2012, my then girlfriend and I went on a big year-long road trip through the States, working on farms along the way for room and board. And ended our trip by driving across Canada, west to east, stopping back in Nova Scotia where we lived. At some point we got a puppy, and around the time we got to Alberta, with an extra mouth to feed, money was running out. Since I'm a carpenter, I decided to find a place to rent, and I would get a job for a few months before we kept going on our trip. We scrolled through Kijiji, the Canadian Craigslist, and eventually found an ad for a place. There was this one guy who lived in a very cool looking house and was only a short drive from where I had found a job at. He wanted someone to move in with him to help out with the bills. We started corresponding with him by email. I told him that I was going to work in the area and my girlfriend would be staying home with the puppy. Being desperate and having become accustomed to trusting strangers throughout this long trip, we agreed to send him a deposit and take the offer. We got to this place a few days later. It was in the middle of nowhere, and there were no neighbors.
That's
but
sketchy.
We had known
I
that
would
before.
not go in there.
This guy looked to be about 30 to 35, small framed, and just looked like a regular working country dude. Except his expression was weird. It was like he was scared or something. He almost looked like he was ashamed of himself. He was fine with our dog being inside, though he had a dog that wasn't allowed inside. This struck me as weird since this is the cold Canadian North. Right away, he met us at the door, and I felt there was something off about him. It made me uneasy, especially since I would be going off to work every day, leaving my girlfriend alone with this creepy guy. But she didn't seem worried, and I didn't want to be controlling, so I let it go. The first night we were there, he wanted to have a few drinks with us. We obliged politely. He brought us a few cans of shitty watery beer and meekly drank his while sitting across the kitchen table from us. We tried to relax the situation and asked him a few friendly questions about himself. His answers were brief and quiet. He seemed to want friendship, but also seemed completely unsure of how to get it. He went over a few rules he had. Number 1 was to stay out of his room, which was obviously fine. Number 2 was that we were not allowed to go into the basement. Kind of weird. And number 3 was to stay away from the barn. By this point, I could imagine the headlines. Nova Scotian couple found murdered, bound in barn.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I didn't sleep very much. I wasn't supposed to start work for a couple of days. So I just stayed up reading and playing with our pup. I heard his truck pull out of the driveway pretty early in the morning. I headed for the basement because I just had to know what was down there.
Oh no,
it was pretty bare.
Don't go
just
down.
A few washing and drying machines and some lawn chairs.
Why go down?
But I opened a closet door and found a weird nurse costume that looked like it was for sexual purposes. A roll of duct tape, a set of handcuffs, a shotgun, and a box of shells, all sitting together on the same shelf. I woke up my girlfriend and explained that she no longer had any say in the matter, and that we were leaving before he got home. We sent him a message after we left, lying, saying that one of our family members had gotten sick and we were moving back home. He never offered to return our money, and we had no more contact with him. I'm still waiting to see him in the news. My ex thinks that I worry too much, but her parents thanked me profusely. And I still wonder, what was inside that barn?
Oh no! Probably like a...
Number 2.
Dead body, baby.
The following story is told from a female's point of view, narrated by special guest Darkness Prevails.
I got married when I was 19, and my husband and I had no clue what to do with our new life together. We dropped out of college, and our studio apartment was too expensive. We thought it was the ideal time to travel and have adventures before settling down. We came across a post on the internet from a man who was looking for workers on his horse ranch. He would provide all meals and lodging.
Alright guys, I am back, so let's just carry on.
We came across a post on the internet from a man who was looking for workers on his horse ranch. He would provide all meals and lodging in exchange for labor around the ranch. It looked like just the solution for us. He claimed to be very knowledgeable in trades and would teach us to build machinery, woodworking, welding. We actually did learn to weld, which is pretty cool, etc. Nice. The pictures were beautiful. The log cabin he built was spacious, and we would have a nice big bedroom. There were lots of other people in the photos, and in our correspondence with him, he always mentioned other people and referred to himself as we. He advertises on multiple platforms, and everything looked really legit. We booked our flight. There was nobody else there. He was in his 60s, but mentally and physically very fit. One of the first things he said to us was, "I never judge people based on their past. Do you believe people can change? I sure do." It seemed harmless enough. He took us grocery shopping and told us to pick whatever we wanted. We immediately got the vibe that his kindness was forced and that he was being over-generous. I'm going to get right into listing the weird stuff we noticed. He built the house himself, and his bedroom had a door to the only upstairs bathroom, which he didn't lock from the inside. He would invite us into his room, and on his table was an old video camera with about 30 little tapes strewn about. He would always talk about how much he loved the Japanese, how he specifically marketed toward them, and had a few Japanese ladies in the past. He often brought up people who had stayed with him before, and all of them had left suddenly, and maybe unexpectedly. One day he told us to get in the truck, because we were going into the city. We were way out in the country, so it was a long ride, but he was really excited about going. He asked us to walk around and ask young people to come with us and work on the ranch.
That's just weird.
This made us super uncomfortable.
Yeah,
we are
why
introverts,
ask young people?
And it just felt very odd to approach people and ask them to get in the truck.
Yeah.
He got upset by our disapproval, so we got out and pretended to look for people to talk to.
He
went to talk to people on his own. As the days went on, his welcoming nature began to give way to a very temperamental and aggressive one. I didn't really find him creepy, but intolerable. I didn't like him at all. He seemed extremely socially inept and said inappropriate things. It was also extremely apparent that he did not view women as equal, or anywhere near equal, to men. He had had military training and was a big, strong man, cunning, always thinking. Now, our parents never wanted us to go. They realized it to be a potentially dangerous situation, but we thought we had done our due diligence. However, we never even thought to Google this guy's name.
Yeah, exactly.
I get an email from my mom one day, freaking out, and telling me to do a Google search, then get on the next plane home. A quick search showed us his arrest record: strangling and sexually assaulting a young woman, followed by headlines reading, "Do not go to this horse ranch. This man is dangerous." We were thoroughly creeped out and booked a flight home.
Yeah.
We were then presented with the dilemma of how to tell a potentially dangerous man that we wanted to leave. I forgot to mention that he would tell us daily about how we could live there permanently and start a family. He would fantasize about Christmases with our future children and raising them on the ranch. We thought it was established that this was a very temporary thing,
weird.
And we had families back home who missed us. This is the weirdest part for me. I made up a lie about an emergency back home, and when I told him, it was like he could see right through me. I'm convinced that he not only knew I was lying, but he knew I was going to lie about needing to leave before I ever opened my mouth. This look came over him that I have never seen on a person before. He was angry, but hiding it. He was hiding.
The baby room at Smith's.
Why do an adverts? Just get out of the way. Adverts, no adverts.
Was angry, but hiding it. He was hiding so many thoughts and emotions that I couldn't tell if I should be frightened or relieved. Before I finished my sentence, he said, "When do you need to go to the airport?" Monotone. I told him right now. He took us and put on his friendliest personality and told us that if we ever wanted to come back, he would buy our tickets. We said we'd be in touch. Just recently, I Googled his name again and discovered a page, a forum, for people who had gone to his ranch, mostly couples like us with eerily similar experiences.
Oh, no.
They spoke about how he says not to judge people on their past, the grocery store, the bathroom, and how they heard him listening behind his door during their midnight bathroom trips, the videotapes, and how they watched them and saw young Japanese girls flexing their arms. Looking through his search history and seeing nothing but Japanese pornography, they talk about how he would make rude remarks to the girlfriends and about creepy rituals in the woods, which we experienced. It was like a full moon ritual inside a circle drawn on the ground.
This guy is weird.
They spoke about being driven to the city and asked to jump out when thin young ladies walked by and tell them to come back to the ranch. I could go on and on.
That's
He is
weird.
still operational. This forum I found was aimed at gathering stories and preventing future visitors to the ranch.
That's why he said about, you know, does he judge people by their past? Because in his past, he was like a serial killer. What the hell?
The police do not have enough evidence to convict him of anything. I know I left a lot of creepy deets out. I didn't want this to be too long, and I'm not a great storyteller. I'm unsure whether it'd be appropriate to name the man or the ranch, but the blog where all the others have written about their encounters is probably much creepier than my story. We got away with much less weirdness because I don't believe I was his type, and he may have feared my husband. If anyone is interested, I may be able to give a few hints so it can be found.
Oh my god, that is so scary. Oh my god. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I did try to post a video literally like a couple of minutes ago when I was going to play some more Warzone, but for some reason, when I tried uploading it, it just did not work. So hopefully this video works. And yeah, anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Peace.